A 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the 4.7 V8. What could possibly go wrong? Can you guys guess? Let's get started. So this Jeep came in with an oil leak and they have coolant loss. It's not dripping on the ground. They're like, where is the coolant going? And they just want that checked out and see what it's going to take to get it fixed. We found even more wrong than that. Keep in mind it has over 180,000 miles on it and a rebuilt salvage title. We're going to show you what we found with the engine, but before we do that, let's go and take a look at the condition of this one. It's got some dents and things on it. We're trying to kind of ascertain what is this vehicle worth. Keep that in mind. Here's the front of this Grand Cherokee. It does have some foggy headlamps and fog lamps, but the hood does show quite a lot of hail damage. There's lots of dents and things on it. We can see the tires are a little bald on it. The paint has some scratches and things on it. We can see right here, it's possibly been repainted and it's starting to peel. I don't want to chip or pull any more off, but it's definitely starting to peel off and rust. Down this side is a lot better. It's not as many scratches and things, but it does still have lots of little hail dents and things in it. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Here's our venerable 4.7 V8. I was talking to Cameron from DC Motor Works in Georgia the other day. He reminded me that this is a Mercedes design. And it does have some design flaws we're going to talk about here in a little bit. They're pretty good engines when they don't have any issues. They don't have supreme amounts of power or anything, but they are fairly reliable until they have one certain issue, which makes them catastrophic. One thing I noticed when we drove it in, it's got some serious clunking going on between reverse and drive, back and forth. We're pretty much done under the hood for now. Let's go ahead and get it on the lift and take a look at those oil leaks and that clunking. So I'm going to have Mrs. Wizard raise me up in the air, and I'm going to put it in and out of drive and reverse. She's going to show you the clunking, and it's a lot of movement. And it explains why. You can feel it and hear it. It's pretty loud, actually. All right, Mrs. Wizard, are you ready?
Sure.
Hello down there, Mrs. Wizard.
Why, hi, Wizard. You know, since you're kind of stuck up there, I think I'm only going to let you get down from there if you take me out to dinner tonight.
I think we can do that.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. I might let you down a little bit then.
I'll go ahead and start this up and go in and back and forth between the different gears. You guys are going to be amazed how much movement there is. That is not supposed to do that. It flops around quite a lot. How am I get out of here, Mrs. Wizard?
I'll let you down.
All right. Looks like I owe you dinner tonight, Mrs. Wizard.
Yes, you do, sir.
All right. Well, we see a lot of oil right off the bat on this front cross member and on top of the steering rack. We did clean it and verify that the front main seal is just pouring oil out of it. It's all over the differential and everything. And it's very likely what damaged the mounts that hold this differential up. You can see it has tons of movement. So every time you hit the gas, let off, this thing is going clunk, 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 clunk. So that's definitely an issue. All three of those mounts are going to have to be replaced. But before you do that, you want to get the oil leak fixed because it's just going to ruin the next set of mounts. So with oil leaks, sometimes you'll see a little puddle on the ground and you think, I can live with that for a little while. But you have to realize that if that oil is dripping on rubber components, it can destroy them. Just like the motor mounts on this poor differential. Take a look. You see the rubber is tearing. We washed all this off a minute ago. It looks kind of dry now, but this oil was all over the rubber. We'll check out these brakes. About 15 to 20% remaining. CV boots are good. Struts are not blown out. Sway bar link is not loose. Same thing on the brakes here, maybe 20% remaining. CV boots are good. Sway bar link is good and the strut is not blown. The next thing we see is tons of oil back here, and it's coming from up above valve covers way up top, pouring all down the back. So keep in mind that's just more oil pouring all over your rubber mounts and things. This definitely has some heavy oil leaks. And it has coolant loss too, and we're going to dive into that here in a minute, but let's finish our inspection. So if you have a little oil leak and you think it's probably not going very far or doing very much, keep in mind when you're on the highway cruising, there's a lot of air blowing under here. It's all over this cross member. This is from the oil up front that's blown all the way back, and it's also getting onto the fuel tank a little bit. Our transfer case is not leaking, luckily. There's quite a bit of slop in the chain. A little bit worn. That's probably to be expected with 180,000 miles on it. These are very particular about tire size and being wrong size tires or different treads and patterns and things. It can be just a little bit thicker on one wheel. It can really wear out the transfer case. Here's our differential. Luckily nothing's leaking there. Check our rear brakes. They're about 20 to 30% remaining. Shocks are not blown. 20 to 30% on the brakes, and that shock is not blown. Sway bar link is okay here and over here. So I checked this spare, and I can push it in pretty far, so there's not much air in this spare. And it has some rock sliders here. I do like these about the Grand Cherokees, where if you're on logs or rocks or stones, you can kind of glide off of it without damaging anything. We do see our charcoal canister is nicely tucked out of the way there as well. Easy to get to, but not easy to break. So we now know it has some really big oil leaks going on. We know where it's coming from as well, and it has actually damaged the mounts on the front differential, and it's flopping all over the place. So let's get this thing on the ground and back off the lift and tackle that final question. It's losing coolant, but it's not leaking it on the ground. Where is it going? Let's find out. So here's our 4.7 again. We just looked at it a minute ago. The customer keeps having to add coolant. They actually have a bottle of coolant in the interior that they keep having to add. I have some sneaking suspicions, and the first thing I do on one of these vehicles is I open the reservoir and use my nose. And it smells just like an exhaust pipe. Let's go ahead and pressure test the cooling system and see if it'll even hold pressure. This is our little MightyVac pressure tester. We have it listed in our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. You can purchase these. This is another one of those tools that's black and white answers. That's what I like. I don't like gray area. This will give us the answer, what's going on 99% of the time. You pressure it up, you'll see where the leak is right away. So we got that locked onto the radiator there. We're going to pump it up to about 15 psi. It should hold. Let's watch the gauge here as I get it close to 15. Slowly just keep sinking and sinking and sinking. That was real time. That wasn't sped up or anything. That it's dropping as we talk. It's almost down to 10 psi now. So Junior Mint's doing the test on this. He pressure tested it several times. He's looking for drips. He's looking for leaks. There are none. It doesn't drip a drop of antifreeze. Where is it going? There's one final test that'll give us the answer, and it's a combustion gas test. I'll go grab that tool now. So we've used this on the channel before. This is some blue colored fluid. It should stay blue the entire time of this test. It should never turn green or yellow. Yellow's really bad, but definitely should not turn green like green antifreeze. So I'm going to fill up this little tool up to the line with the fluid. We can see it's Smurf blue, very blue colored. Put our cap back on. This just kind of sets on top here. This is a little squeeze bulb. Set it down in the neck of the radiator, and I'll go start the engine. And as it's running here, you squeeze the bulb and it pulls some of the radiator gases into the fluid. We'll let this sit here and idle and run for a little bit. I'm going to rev it a few times. It takes a little bit, we'll let it continue to run, but right off the bat I can tell something's wrong, because with a healthy engine, you start from idle and rev it, goose it a little bit. There shouldn't be instantly air being pumped out into this solution. We verified that with our pressure testing tool, and it'll pump up to 10-15 psi really fast, even on a cold engine. That's not good. So there's something internal wrong going on, and we're going to verify with this fluid. If it turns green or yellow, we know exactly what it is. Let's give it a few seconds here and let it continue to bubble. So right away, we can see there's a change in color. Our original fluid is this nice blue color, like a swimming pool blue. But what we have now is antifreeze green. It's already starting to change. So that tells me there's combustion gases in the antifreeze. That should not be. There should never be combustion gases in your antifreeze. We've let it run for quite a while here. It will finally turn yellow. And that explains where antifreeze is going. The head gaskets are blown on this engine. It's allowing combustion gas that should be going out the exhaust to get through the head gasket and into the cooling jackets and into our antifreeze. And this is the proof is in the pudding right here. Antifreeze green, it should be blue. This is the death knell for this Jeep. This is what's going to total this complete vehicle out. So we know right away it has a front main seal leak, valve cover gaskets leaking oil, really bad oil leaks leaking all over the differential on the front and ruining the mounts, making it flop up and down. Our transfer case is getting to be really worn out. It's got a lot of slop in that transfer case chain. We have some body issues here or there going on. We also know, and let me show you something that proves this is a kind of a rebuilt or a salvage vehicle. In Kansas, if a vehicle's been rebuilt or salvaged, there'll be branding on it on the door jamb, a little red sticker. Let's take a look. We can see down there, rebuilt salvage vehicle, state of Kansas. So what does all this have to do with one another? It has everything to do with answering the question, is it worth fixing? The head gaskets alone can go anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000, possibly $5,000 if there's more damage, other things that we find. Then we got the front main seal, we got the differential mounts. The valve covers would be fixed with the head gasket job. The transfer case needs to be replaced. What is this vehicle worth? It could be worth about $3,000 or $4,000 in decent condition with the high miles, maybe $5,000 if it was really nice. I checked Marketplace, most of these run from $2,000 to $4,000. This one, probably $1,500 to $2,000. That's what this thing is worth. Why would you put $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 into this vehicle? Is it worth it? Absolutely not. Oh, and by the way, don't forget those bald tires. It needs a set of 4 brand new tires. And in today's world, that's probably another $600, $800, depending on what brand you buy, maybe $1,000. I don't know what you would want to buy, but if you're going to put a transfer case into this thing and get everything up to snuff, you're going to have to put new tires so you don't damage the system. And it's worn out anyways, it needs to be replaced. The transfer case job alone, the cost of the transfer case rebuild or replacement and all the labor, $2,000 to $3,000, possibly more. The engine job with the head gaskets, you're going to put new timing chains, new water pump, new all bunch of parts. It all adds up really fast. We could easily sink $6,000 to $8,000 into this vehicle. And I just can't let a customer do that. They can take that same $8,000 and go buy a much newer Jeep Grand Cherokee in better condition. And they can sell this one to someone who maybe can fix it themselves or just drive it until it's done, whatever they want to do. It's already got a salvage title. There's that saying, 1 foot in the grave. Unfortunately, it's sad, but that is probably a situation with this Jeep. We're going to let the customer know the bad news. It's probably not worth putting a bunch of money into. They might start looking for another vehicle and maybe advertise this one for sale to help recoup some of the cost. But this is one of those situations I really don't like, and Crazy D in the office doesn't like it either. It's like, oh man, I have to give these people the bad news. We're not going to lie to them. So this will not be worked on. We're not going to be diving into this one. It just isn't worth it. In its current state, if you keep driving it, I give this vehicle 3 to 6 months. It's probably going to grenade or do something really, really bad. But it could get by for a little while, I don't know, but I don't know if I'd even do that. It's probably time to sell it to someone who can fix it or stop driving it. But I definitely wanted to get a video out to you guys because we run up against this all the time, at least twice a week. A car comes in with lots of catastrophic issues. Is it worth it? Look up the values. It really is a constant thing you have to worry about. Maybe there's some shops out there that say, I don't care, we're going to take this customer's money and clean their bank account out. I don't care if it's worth it. I can't do that. I don't have a heart to do that. This person who owns this vehicle does not deserve to be treated that way. We're going to tell them the honest truth. Don't do it. I don't want to make money off of you. You don't need to fix this Jeep. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to not use to work on this, but any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below, just like that pressure tester for cooling systems and also the combustion gas tester. We have that for sale there as well. And make sure to hit the subscribe button before you go because we have many more videos to come. Thanks for watching and hit the notification bell.